Bet you thought you had seen the last of me, huh? Look who's actually alive. Hey babes, it's Lilith. Welcome back to my channel when I have not posted in like 10 months. Yes, I am alive. I know that not everybody here follows my social media to see that I am still alive, but I am indeed alive. This video is me dipping my toes in the water again, getting used to being on YouTube again, explaining where I've been, giving an update on my life, on my shifting journey, what I've been up to for the last 10 months before we dive back into the new content that I have planned for this channel. I missed you guys so much, and I am so glad that I'm actually able to make this video and my ADHD is finally working with me. It has been like 10 months since I've seen you guys. Hopefully I'll be able to get this video up only within a few days of filming it, but it's like the middle of July right now. And I think the last time I posted a full proper video on here was like the end of August. So yeah, it's been a hot minute. A lot has happened in the last 10 months in my life, not just in my shifting journey, but just in my life in general. So I figured that I would go ahead and kind of take you guys on a debrief through my life of what's happened in the last 10 months. As you can see, I have dyed my hair pink. The last time that you guys saw me on this channel, my hair was green, and I loved the greens so much, but I really wanted to do this as like a bucket list check off thing for my childhood self, because my dream when I was a little girl was to have pink everything. I wanted pink clothes, pink nails, pink walls, pink everything. And 10-year-old me would have loved to have pink hair. And considering last summer I went with my mom to the Barbie movie in theaters and we cried 3 different times and held hands through most of the movie, I was like, you know what, an homage to my childhood self and to recognize and appease my childhood self, I will dye my hair pink. And honestly, I've kind of been loving it. Anybody who knows me knows that I don't really fuck with the color pink, but I actually really like it, and I feel like it's making me feel a little bit more comfortable with that kind of like flamboyance. I say that like I didn't have green hair before this, but like there's a certain vibe to pink hair, and I feel like I'm becoming a little more comfortable with that. Although I am planning on dyeing my hair a different color in like 2 months, so you won't get to see the pink for very long, sadly, but I do love the pink, and honestly I could see myself going back to it quite quickly after changing my hair. Second thing, about a month after the last time I was on this channel, I turned 28 years old, and because it is about to be that time of year again, I am only like 2 months away from turning 29, which makes me feel gross and old, and I really don't want to go there with that. Originally I wasn't planning on not being on this account for a long time, but it really just felt like I had burnt myself out with YouTube. I was doing it thinking about the numbers, I was thinking about the views, I was thinking about my subscriber count, which I think a lot of people who are on social media become really accustomed to and very victimized by, that I started to compare it to like my self-worth, because I already have very, very low self-esteem as it is, and it didn't really help. So I really want to come back into this thinking of it in the same headspace that it was when I really loved it, and I really want to start thinking of it as like me connecting with the audience, having fun, being creative, making people laugh, and having a community, rather than how many views is this getting compared to the views on videos I was having like 3 or 4 years ago. So I would really rather think of it like that. But originally my plan was to just take the fall and not come back until like around Christmas time, because I got super busy going out and like honestly making the most of my fall. Fall is the best time of year for me. Not only is it my birthday, but also Halloween. I love fall weather. I went to my citywide pagan pride fest. I went out with my sister to the zoo, to the aquarium. We went to a winery that was like Halloween and fall themed, and it was so great. And we went to a pumpkin patch, and it was just amazing, and I had a great time, and I was truly living my best life in the fall. And I then kind of got to the holidays and I felt really emotionally drained by that. My depression gets way worse in the winter, and then the holidays are really overwhelming for me, and the next thing I knew, it was like New Year's, and I was like, you know what, I just kind of need more time. I've really been trying hard to get back in the swing of my own mind, but lately I feel like I'm doing a lot of work on my mental health and on a lot of stuff I don't feel comfortable speaking about publicly, but just stuff going on in my head that I've really needed to deal with and that I'm working with my therapist on. And I feel more positive about coming back to YouTube in this mindset now. Something else that I got into after I kind of took an impromptu, very long break from YouTube was I got into crocheting. This is my current project. It's not very far along. It's like the very beginnings of a blanket for my best friend. And I made blankets for my dad and my brother for Christmas. I crocheted, oh, where's my little ghost? He may not be professional, okay? He may not be professional, but I love him and I think that he is very cute, and I made one for so many people in my life. I forced them upon my sister, I forced them on my best friend, my grandmother, like everyone, this was forced upon them. I even forced this upon my poor girlfriend. And I love him. I know he's got no arms and he kind of just looks like a Pac-Man ghost, but you know what, I think he's cute, and he's gonna sit behind me for the rest of this video because I think that he's cute. I also learned how to crochet a scarf, and I learned how to crochet a tiny octopus. I crocheted a tiny mushroom. I crocheted a tiny little poop for my best friend's kid, and I am so looking forward to making my own blanket as well once I finish the projects that I already have set up for the summer, because I'm making blankets for other people first, because I really just, for some reason, I really want to make mine when it's cold outside. I don't know, that's just the vibe that I want to give to myself, I guess. But I really got into it. I don't know, it's something that I can do on my own and that I like, and it's creative and I can use my hands for it, and that feels really good for my ADHD. Something else that I went through that I have been needing to do for a super, super, super long time. I finally got my wisdom teeth removed. It was terrifying. They put me under for it, and the guy who was my doctor looked exactly like my late grandfather, so once I was on drugs for that, I was like, oh god, like it was terrifying. But the procedure went surprisingly well. I had all 4 taken out at once because that's what my insurance would cover. And I apparently was super funny to the nurses, and they laughed their asses off, and apparently I told all of them that they all deserved raises and that I hoped they had happy lives. I spent pretty much like the next 3 or 4 days asleep. And when I wasn't sleeping, I was playing my sister's Nintendo Switch because she lent me her Minecraft. So I was pretty much just like building a small town on Minecraft and eating soup for the next like week or so, and barely awake. So it was a pretty good time. I just like slept and played Minecraft, and now my wisdom teeth are gone. Speaking of Minecraft, during my time away from YouTube, I have also fallen back in love with video games. I have never really talked about video games a lot on this channel, but when I was a kid, I really loved video games. My parents had like a Sega Genesis when I was a kid, and I remember playing like Toy Story on there, and there was like an Aladdin game that my dad had, and I absolutely loved them. And my aunt used to have like a PS1 or a PS2, something like that, that me and my sister would play Spyro on. And I loved that. And I always used to go to my cousin's house and we would play like different kinds of like fighting games. I don't know if that's Mortal Kombat or like or if that's the one in the arcade, whichever one. We would play like the fighting game you could get on like a PlayStation, and we would play like we would play Guitar Hero. That was a moment and a half. And when I was a kid, I eventually got like the original Xbox, and I had like a couple different Spyro games, and I had a really cool SpongeBob game that I loved, and I fell in love with video games as a kid, and eventually I had a Game Boy, and I had Spyro on that, and I had Crash Bandicoot, and there was this game based on the Unfabulous TV show, if anyone remembers that. It was so random, but I really, really liked video games as a kid, and then I got a 360 when I was 18. We also had a family Wii that we pretty much only used to be able to play Zelda Twilight Princess. I didn't really play any other game on it except for that, but when I got my 360, I started playing Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, and I was really big into the Fable trilogy, and I'm so excited. There's going to be another Fable game coming out next year. You have no idea. But I had my Xbox 360 for a really long time, and I couldn't really see myself getting another one. And then I started to feel this incredible urge to play video games again, because my brother and sister are both extremely obsessed video game nerds. They both have PlayStations, and they both have Nintendo Switches, and I was feeling kind of left out. And then I became one of those people that before I ever even played the game, I fell in love with Baldur's Gate 3. I was watching edits of it. I was on character AI. Let me tell you, I've become very character AI obsessed in the last 10 months. And I fell in love with the game, and I fell in love with the storyline. I was watching people play Baldur's Gate, and I was so jealous. So I saved up for months and I finally got my own Xbox, and I was so excited, and I love it, and it's my baby, and I'm on it all day long. Currently Baldur's Gate 3 is like my main thing, but I also have Octodad because it's such a throwback to back in the day when I remember watching Markiplier play it. I have Minecraft. I went to a used game store to get a version of Hogwarts Legacy that wasn't retail, so I wouldn't be giving money to a TERF. And it was just such an exciting thing for me, and I play video games like every day now. And now my next goal is to get a Nintendo Switch. So that's my next saving goal. Arguably the coolest thing to happen to me in the last 10 months was I went to the Sonic Temple Music Festival. The shirt that I am wearing is actually from Sonic Temple. It is the coolest shirt that I own. I went with a good friend of mine, and even though I had the privilege to see Breaking Benjamin while I was there, I heard Pantera from the parking lot. The lead singer of Flyleaf actually performed with Breaking Benjamin while we were there, and even though I had the absolute pleasure and honor of seeing In This Moment live, I'm not even gonna get into how good that was. The number one reason that I went, and the thing that I will never stop talking about, I mean, it's the coolest thing that I have ever been a part of, and everyone wishes I would shut up about, I got to see my favorite band, Sleep Token, live. It was truly the coolest thing that has ever happened. I was a little sad that they didn't play Take Me Back to Eden, but I also understand because it's an 8-minute song and they only had like an hour or something set that they could do. And it was just so cool. Hearing Alkaline was a spiritual experience. Hearing them perform Rain made me cry. Hearing the summoning, dude, I was possessed. It is truly just like the coolest thing I have ever been a part of, and I feel so lucky and blessed that my friend was kind enough to invite me, and I cannot wait to go to another music festival. I have been trying to talk my sister into going to a concert with me ever since then, because we found out that one of her favorite bands, Slaughter to Prevail, is going to be performing in a couple months. Actually, I think it's like next month. But it's so not gonna happen, but like we were this close, but I was so excited to go. It was such an amazing time. I went in April. It was so cool. Everybody at the fest was super nice. Metalheads are really cool, and it was just an amazing experience. If you guys go to my Instagram in the description below, there's a bunch of pictures from when we actually went. If you go back a couple months, there's so many pictures of the Sleep Token set. It was so good. Whoever does the lights for them needs to be paid more. It was so amazing. It was a spiritual experience. It was worth being on my feet for so long in a crowd, feeling like I was shoved into a sardine can. I love Sleep Token so much, and being able to see them live was just like one of the craziest things ever, and I'm so grateful that I got to go. Now, the part that a lot of you are probably waiting for that was in the title, I have a shifting update, which if you guys want, I will make a separate video about this, because I did make a video when I mini shifted. It was actually, crazy enough, it was like a year ago. I think I mini shifted for the first time like the last day of July 2023, because I want to say that I filmed the mini shifting video like the first day of August, and it was up a few days later. But I actually mini shifted again like mere days ago. I think it was like a week and a half-ish ago, something like that. I don't know math. And it was even more intense than last time. And I can truly say I feel so close. And it's so weird how the two mini shifting experiences really affected me differently. Because when I mini shifted the first time, pretty much after that, I lost the motivation to even try to shift like immediately. I still can't really explain it, but it was like I lost motivation for a lot of things in my life around that time. I didn't really care to be doing YouTube anymore. I didn't really care to be trying to shift. Like making TikTok content got really hard for me. It just really felt like I was super burnt out, and like emotionally I couldn't handle it. And so I think between that mini shift last July and this year, I think I have properly tried to shift maybe 4 or 5 times in the last like year, because it just felt like I was so separated from it. I didn't give up, and it wasn't an intentional break. I just really gave into the idea of no longer forcing myself to try if I wasn't in that place, you know? And that was a lot for me. And I think kind of it helped because I really do think I was burnt out. If you guys would like a video like in detail about my second mini shift like I did with my first one last summer, let me know. Let me know in the comments and I'll just like flat out do it. Because I love talking about it, but it would be so long to explain in this video that's pretty much supposed to be like a brief overview update video that it would take up like 20 minutes, and I really don't want to clog up the whole video with that, and I would rather give that like the attention that it deserves. So if you guys are at all interested in hearing like an in-depth story time about my second mini shift from this month, then let me know in the comments and I will absolutely do that. And lastly, the thing that I want to mention is also technically shifting related, something that I started offering on my TikTok, and I'm also going to offer to you guys here on YouTube, not just because I want to let you know that I'm doing it, but also because it is genuinely something I started doing since I left YouTube a while ago. I have started offering tarot reviews. No. Tarot reviews? I need more caffeine before I keep talking. I have started offering tarot readings specific to shifting. There is going to be an email in my description below where you can contact me about doing a reading. There's two different kinds of readings that I do. There is a general reading about your shifting journey where I speak to your spirit guides and the universe and my spirit guides and talk to them about your journey. And we figure out if there's anything that you could be doing to help you shift, if there's anything that is holding you back, or if there's anything that you could be adding to what you're doing to help with your shifting process, or maybe if there's something you need to change about your mindset. And then the other kind that I do, which seems to be a personal favorite with the people who have already ordered them from me, is people get channeled readings. And the channeled readings is kind of like when you go on Etsy and you order like a channeled letter. It is a reading where I speak to someone of your choosing in your DR, whether it's a significant other, a friend, a family member, whoever, and I see if you can ask them questions. If you have questions you want to ask them, if you want to hear advice from them, if you want to hear advice for them as far as your shifting journey, or if you just want to hear about like their feelings for you or their thoughts on your relationship or your life or whatever, it is specifically a set of cards that I pull for them, speak to their higher self, and see what they have to say to you. Each of my readings are $10 a piece US. And sadly at this time I am only accepting payments via Venmo. I wanted to try to do through PayPal, but there's been a lot of complications about like connecting it to my bank account and a bunch of crap, and I just really didn't want to have to go through that because I was driving myself insane. So sadly at this time I'm only accepting payments via Venmo, and I hope I will be able to get that fixed in the future. But if you guys are interested in getting the readings, please check out the email below. I only use the email to be able to communicate about tarot readings, so if you have any questions or comments or anything about shifting, please don't send them to the email. Pretty much just leave them on the video like this. And something else that I'm really wanting to do is I am trying to collect questions to do for a shifting Q&A. So if you guys are interested and you want to leave questions about shifting, whether it's about shifting in general or my shifting journey or whatever, leave them in the comments below and I will collect all of those together to do for an upcoming shifting Q&A. You can either leave them in the comments here or you could ask them on my Shift Talk account, whatever. I will screenshot it and I will put your question in the video and I will answer it as best and as detailed as I can. That's pretty much all that I have for you guys at this time. I feel really good about being back. I feel like if I had come back any sooner, it really would have felt rushed. It would have felt too soon. It would have been disingenuine, and I feel like you guys deserve better than that. I want to be able to give you quality content where I'm not sitting and doing the video just for the views. I also don't want to do a video where I'm not really in the right headspace and you guys get a version of me that's not real or is tired or is just like not mentally there. So I feel like I'm getting into a better headspace now to do this, and I feel really good about that. So hopefully you guys are here for the journey. If you guys would like to see that mini shifting explanation video, tell me in the comments because I'm more than happy to make it if anyone's interested. I just don't want to like make it if no one cares. And like I said, if you are interested in $10 a piece tarot shifting readings, whether it's about a general thing about your shifting journey, or if it's about a significant other or family member or whoever in your DR, send me an email. We'll converse about it. I'll ask you questions. We'll get it all figured out. So if you are interested in that, check that out in the description. I think that's all I have for you guys today. If you are not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, join the family. I am so excited to be coming back and doing videos for you guys and getting back into the flow of things. And if you are not already following my social media, please check out the links below. I am on TikTok the most out of everything. I don't really use Twitter that much anymore. It became kind of like a toxic, insane place. So don't really worry about it. If you want to, you can. Sometimes I get there every couple of months, but not really. But I spend most of my time on TikTok, but you can also find my Instagram. You can find my Snapchat, all that good business down there that you want to find. I hope that you guys liked today's video, and it feels really nice to make a video for you guys again, and I'm really excited. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.